We're here at Cobra Puma with T.O. talking tech, and we're talking about forgiveness in drivers.
Yeah, forgiveness comes in many ways. Part of it is really the ball speed off the face. You're trying to maintain as much ball speed around those impact locations. We do that by two things. We do that by the E9 construction in the back of the face, which is changing the thickness in various ways to get a little bit more speed off center. We also do that by something called the speed channel. And so speed channel is another way to look at the structure and take out weight where you don't technically need it. We don't need durability resistance out here because no one hits shots out there. So you're trying to make it a little bit more flexible, and by speed channel cutting into a little bit of that geometry of the face, we also save 2 grams. When we also talk about forgiveness, aside from speed off the face, we're talking about inertia to maintain the speed off the face. So one is an impact function, the other is really an inertia function. When you take the weight out of the face and move it further back, you retain more of that ball speed that you would lose on a mishit. So you're trying to provide the golfer with the best ability to maintain as much ball speed. And as we talked a little bit before, there's lots of different ways to attack this problem. We attack it slightly different than some of the other manufacturers in the sense that we're actually taking some weight out to do it, as well as giving a little bit more flexibility out here. When you get that flexibility around the outside of the face, it helps you with your mishits. Everyone has to design within the USGA standard. So off the center of the face and any place that would be a little bit hotter, you have to maintain your standard of speed within the USGA conformance testing. But we're trying to give that little bit extra benefit of speed outside of the face. The other topic that we get to when we get to forgiveness is really around squaring the face, which for many players is typically due to front-back CG or other CG variations. We know that a golf club, even though it has a lot of inertia and a lot of speed off the face, if you can't square it up, it really doesn't play very forgiving. So that's another function that when some people think about forgiveness, there's a few ways to talk about it. When we do a robot test, typically a robot test is you take your center hits and you take your miss hits and you say, okay, this is a very forgiving club. We also do tests where we say put the robot in 2 degrees open and see what happens there, because you want to be able to understand what happens when people have the miss hits as well as an open face or a closed face. And I think when golfers get to the club and on the range and on the golf course, their overall vision of forgiveness is not only this miss-hit function from a physics standpoint, it's also how easy is the face to square up. And that's where we know the front-back CG has a huge benefit. The further back your CG is, the easier it is to square up. A little bit forward, a little bit harder to square up. So those are also things that we talk about when we think of this overall word of forgiveness.